Hello everyone, it's Amy and welcome back for another Journaling on a Budget video. Today we are going to make a Flower Girl envelope tag, and I have chosen the page to put it on. I'm going to put it on this page here. And so our envelope tags we made earlier in the series, and it's an envelope that we folded over to make tag shaped, and then it has a pocket that you can put here. A lot of times I leave the flap on there, and then I'll take the flap and put it over the page so that it's on this side and it flips open. I've decided to take that flap off and just put this in the book with some washi tape. So, but what I'm looking at here is we have a little bit of blue sticking out around and a lot of pink over here. So that's just so that I know what I want to put on this side. And then when we do the inside, it will be next to the blue page, and so we'll do the inside more blue, and I have some paper picked out for that. But I'm going to move the book, and we're going to make our Flower Girl tag. So the first thing that we need to do is we need a face, and we need some flowers. Now I have when I sit sometimes in the evening and I don't know what to do, I cut things out of magazines, and then I just put them in file folders. Like this file folder says faces and this one says flowers. And so I just cut them out and I stick them in there. I saw Shannon Green make a box one day that she put all of her flower or all of her magazine cutouts in, and she sewed in some plastic pockets to put everything into, and then I just also put them in the back. The plastic pockets are kind of nice. Nothing falls out because the envelope or the file folders stand up the right way so that, you know, the opening to the pockets is facing straight up. It was kind of a lot of work, and so I'm not so sure that the pockets make that much of a difference to me. So you could just, if you want to do this, just make yourself some file folders with you can put a label on it or you can just write on it. I painted all of mine up and painted my box, and, you know, just so that, I don't know, it was something to do that day. But that's what we're going to do. So the first thing we'll do is we'll pick a face to put on our tag. I'm going to move these over a little bit, put our tag right here. We're going to want to put a tag kind of in the middle of our tag. We don't want it to take up all of the space, but we don't want it to be so small that it would get lost with the flowers. This one here, I think, is a little bit too big because there's not a lot of space to put our flowers around it. That one's really quite cute, but it's not what we need. I don't really want to do a famous person. So, and I don't really want black and white. Now this face is kind of big. Let me see. The faces are the same. I could just go around the face because we can cover up the hair. We'll think about those two. She's pretty. To me, that's still a little bit big. That's too small. I don't want that one. Now this face, it's got like this was like from some kind of cream, and but the thing is, if we're going to cover up the hair, it doesn't matter that only part of the face is there. I think so far I like her the best, so I'm going to set her aside, and we'll just keep looking. I might want one that faces more forward. That's way too big. Too small. Too small. These will all be too small. What about that one? No. Oh, I like that one. I really like the red lipstick. Put all of these aside. She's only going to be that big. Okay, we're going to just pick her. So we're going to put our faces aside, grab our glue book and our stick glue. We're going to glue her down. I am going to take off some of this extra because we're going to be gluing flowers all around her head or around her face, and so we don't really need all of that extra. I would prefer not to glue the magazine pieces to magazine pieces. So we're going to put her there, and I want her a little higher than center, and I think that's going to be a good size. So we're just going to glue her on there, and then we're going to give her a complete covering all the way around of flowers. And these are just fun to make. We used to make these when we were kids. We did like this. We did where we would put like flowers onto a cutout of, the one I remember the most is an elephant. And then you would turn it over and cut around the elephant so that the elephant was completely covered with flowers or other things. You know, it doesn't have to be flowers. It just seems like you could find more flowers in a magazine than other things. So there we go. Now we have her on our tag, and now we are just going to pick some flowers to put around her. So I'm just gonna go in here and just grab out some flowers and set them down here. There we go. There was a one in here, this orange one. See, now that would make a cute little hat, but I was wondering about making it kind of like a collar. I'll keep that one out. Maybe we'll put that on, and I would want that towards the top layer if I wanted it to kind of look like a collar. And then all we're going to do is we're just going to go through and we're going to pick out some flowers that would look pretty. And you don't have to cover up all of the hair. Sometimes if you're trying to cover up all of the hair, you almost lose the face. I really like the way that this, you know, like goes around and frames her face. So I'm going to glue this on, and then I'll turn it over and cut the extra off. And maybe we can use that somewhere else. Grab my glue stick. Okay, this is where we were. I'm not going to put the glue all the way to the very top because we know that I'm going to have to cut it off. No point in wasting the glue and get less glue on my scissors that way. But make sure you get glue on the whole thing that you want to glue down so that it doesn't lift up later. And if it does, you just pop a little glue underneath, not a big deal. Okay, so I want it maybe just a touch lower. Like that. Okay. I'll flip it over and give it a press so that any extra glue that I have on the back of my flowers doesn't stick to my paper here. And I'm going to cut that off right now so that I know what everything looks like. It's easier to kind of, well, and sometimes it's nice just to have a surprise to cut it off at the end, but I prefer to. For the tags, I like to cut them off so I can see what I have going on. And this one, being that it was so big, covered a whole lot of our tag in just one bit. And see, that's pretty cool. We've got these extra bits here. See if they fit in here somewhere. Like I said, just be careful not to totally kind of lose your face. And I think that we'll just leave those aside. I don't see either one that I really like a whole lot. And I do want some variety in color. That one's shaped just like a heart. So I'm going to cut out this yellow flower, and we'll see what that looks like. And the other one must have been the cover of a magazine, so it was a lot thicker. And then this one is just a regular old magazine page. I just get my magazines from my local library, people drop them off there to be recycled by others, you know, so other people can read them, or I use them to cut up. I sometimes read them first. And so I get them there and I get them for free. I like that yellow bit there, but wonder if... Okay, if we do it like that, we can cover up all the way to the edge. I like that. I'm just going to glue it. And I usually do it one piece at a time, but if you'd like, you can go ahead and kind of lay your whole thing out and get it how you like it, and then go ahead and glue them down. I always have a problem when I take them off. I have them just like I want them, and then I take them off, and then I never can get them back in the same order, so I've learned to kind of not worry about that too much. Okay, so here we've got a pretty rose that might look nice around the yellow one. I'm going to cut off the writing. That's too big. We might use that down there later. I want something a little bit smaller. And here's a whole group of smaller. So it is kind of nice when you find a bouquet like this, because a lot of times when I do them, every one is an individual flower. But the bouquet makes it a whole lot faster to fill up your tag. And you can leave some of the leaves on there. It doesn't have to be perfectly cut out. And if there's a piece that you don't like the shape or what's sticking out, you can just cover that little spot with another flower. There we go. What about putting this one over in here? Again, being careful not to get too close to covering up her face. I think I like that right there. I'm going to grab just a little piece of this flower here. Oops. Because when I put that on there, I had a spot right there that was not covered, so I just want to cover that before I do this. Yep, that'll work. Okay, so I'll just get some glue on here. I think it's time to switch pages. With magazines, when you're gluing the back of magazines, you want to be careful about using the same glue book page, you know, like this, too much, because magazines can stick really easily to the glue you've already put on there, and it doesn't dry that quick. Heavier paper, you can put it on and lift it off. It's not that big of a deal. And I left a little bit of the darkness around that flower, and I like the way that that makes it kind of sets it off from the pink up there. I'm going to cut this off. Those little pieces over there. Get off. There we go. Okay, so, you know, we're really getting there. Let's see what else we have here. That's nice for a background on a tag or something, but it's not real good for this project. That would make a gorgeous tag. I'm not going to cut that up. We don't have any purple on here, so let's cut this purple flower out, and I'm going to keep the leaves. If I don't like them when I'm done, I can get rid of them. That one's got a stem, but I'm not going to keep the stem. There would be no way to. It was too thin. And when you're cutting a page that has a whole bunch of flowers on it, and they're, you know, like a big bouquet and it's all mixed in, and you're trying to make it smaller, you can always just go around and make petals that look like petals like this. You know, just bring the petal out to a point, even if it's not really a petal. No one's going to know the difference. Not really. Nobody's going to look that close. This is a very busy tag when it's done, so nobody would look at that to see, but it just makes it look like a flower petal, and then it doesn't stand out like just a straight line. Okay, so let's see. I don't really like that. Now, I don't like this, but I'm thinking in my head that I can cut that off if I like this. And I don't like that either. Maybe we'll save that one for later for right there. About there? No. I'll put it back there. I kind of like it there. All right. So, and like I was saying, see, there's so many flowers to actually really get around any certain flower. So I just go ahead and I just cut, like, there we go. I'm going to cut a petal there. That's not really the shape of that petal. But nobody's necessarily going to know that. Just so long as I didn't cut a big straight line to make it look kind of obvious. I'm going to leave this leaf on here. I find that if you leave a few leaves, that green just really kind of helps. It helps your eye so that it's not so busy. The green just kind of grounds it just a little bit. I don't know, that's kind of the way I look at it. I don't know how you would really say that, but sometimes when you look at something that's super, super busy, it kind of almost makes you dizzy. So a little bit of green here and there helps with that. Around here, and again I'm going to leave this leaf on here, and I can cut it off. I'm not so sure I'm going to like it, but I can always cut it off when we're done, when I find out where I want to put this. So there we go. Now I'm wondering, because that has that roundness in it, excuse me. I really think I like that there. I do like those two leaves there. I'm going to put something behind them. So I'm just going to grab, color do I want there? I actually want kind of a purple there. I'm going to take these little flowers right here. And I'm going to put some of them in that area. I don't really need that much, so how I cut them does not have to be that fussy. I don't want that gray background behind the flowers to show. But I'm cutting off the tops, cutting off the sides. It really doesn't matter because they're just going to be there as a filler. Like that, or nope, don't like it that way at all. Just trying to cover up the whole thing. So we're going to skip that for a second, set it aside because we may be able to use it. I'm just kind of looking to see what else I have here that's purple. This is purple. I don't need much, but that is what I want to go there because we don't hardly have any purple in there. And because we've got the yellow and the pinks and the red and everything, I'm doing it upside down. You definitely just don't want a straight line because flowers don't have straight lines. Okay, that's going to go right in there. I'm just going to slap some glue on it really quick. there. And then we'll glue this one. So this is just fun and it's easy. And like I said, you can put on any kind of a shape. You know, you could do hearts like this. Like I said, I used to like to do things like animals. We even used to do people like this. And we would just, out of the catalog, we would do leave their faces and cut around their bodies and stuff, and then we would tape it on like this, or glue it on. Excuse me. And then that would they'd have like psychedelic clothes. So there we go. Get that on there. I like the looks of that, so I'm going to cut that off and put it right on somewhere right away. Maybe just stick it right over here. Whoops. It's got glue. My hands have glue. There we go. And we're almost done. And then if you want, as you get towards the bottom, you can make it much less full if you want to. I like to do the whole thing full. And you do kind of lose your face, but not completely. I've gotten it where I was way too close to the face, and then it was hard to pick it out. So it just looked like a flower tag, which is actually kind of cool also. Because then people will be looking at it, they think it's just a tag with flowers on it, and all of a sudden they see the face, and it's like, wow, that's really cool. So, and I probably should have cut out a bunch of these before I started the video, but you know, hindsight is always better than foresight. Because this is taking a bit. If I can find a few bigger ones, we'll just finish it up like this. Otherwise, I'll go cut a few more out off of camera. And then we can get them on here. Now, I kind of want to have that curve on there, but I've got way too much green on here, so I'm going to cut some of that off. And get right. I left it on purpose because it was kind of like the bottom of the flowers, but now when I find where I want it, I don't like it there. I do not want this flower here like coming up on her chin. So I'm going to cut that little flower off. And okay, we're going to put it on there. Because we need a little blue, right? Because our book pages have blue on it. Sometimes if you move them just a little bit, it makes a really big difference. Now, I just looked through the camera because I haven't been looking through the camera, so I hope I didn't do the whole thing off screen, but I just looked through the camera, and through the camera, you can see the face really well. You can't see the face that well right here just in front of me. She's kind of, and that's why I was kind of worrying she was blending in, and then I looked through the camera, and it's like, oh, she's right there. Okay, and I think I'm going to put that one right there. So what is today? Today is, let me see. Today is next week, Thursday. Today is the day after Christmas. So I hope that you all had a wonderful Christmas. We did. We did our Christmas on the weekend before Christmas because it makes it easier for everyone to come and see Papa. And they kind of, you know, with little kids and stuff, they want to stay home after the kids open their presents, and we can understand that. So we had Christmas with Papa and my hubby and I, or that's what we're going to be having, because it's actually right now the week before Christmas. I try and do my videos 1 week ahead of time because it takes about 12 hours to load. Well, today, the one that I'm loading today, which is the Build Your Stash and Craft right before Christmas, at the rate it's loading, it's going to be done in about 10 hours. So that's actually really pretty good. I don't know if it's the way I download or the speed of our internet. We do live out in the country, and, you know, we can't get internet from just anyone. And satellite internet, that would be like way too expensive. So, but it does very well. You know, we don't really buffer or anything. But it takes about anywhere from 10 to 12 hours. A couple weeks ago, it took 24 hours. I was almost ready to quit. I was like, you've got to be kidding. There's too much red over there. But there we go. I like it there. But I enjoy doing the videos. And it's not, you know, I mean, you put it on there to upload, and it's on there to upload. But I try each week. On Tuesdays, I do my videos. And I do one of each. And they're for the next week. So, because otherwise, if I were to do it on Tuesday, I would never get my Build Your Stash up in time. Even if I got up and did it early. Because at 12 hours to upload, it would be midnight before y'all got to see it. There we go. A little piece sticking up here, and I can just glue that down, but I don't like the way it's sticking up there. I don't like the shape, so I'm going to take it off. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut out the rest of these flowers and glue them on here, and I'll be right back. Okay, I am back, and I figured out how I want to do these last few flowers, so now we'll see if I can actually do it. So I'm going to start by kind of moving that one up, moving that one there. I did put a couple flowers in this corner to fill the corner. And so this is going to be my most bottom one, so I'm going to put that, get some glue on it, put that on first. I want that one to be right in there. I think that that will cover where I need it to be. Yes, okay. That one there. I didn't get that smoothed out very well, so I'm gonna, there we go. Alrighty. Let's see, do I want the white under the orange, or I want the white over the orange, so orange is gonna be next, down in that corner. That looks pretty good. And then the white one. Oops. Do I want those little purple ones sticking up from underneath there? Put that one like that. No, I don't. Because I didn't cut the tops very nice because it was supposed to be an underfiller. So we're just going to put this one on here. And so, sorry about the quick stop on the other one. Hubby came over and he had to ask me a question, so he was standing next to me, waiting patiently. And so I figured I better see what he needed. Plus, it was actually good timing because I have to stop the video before it hits a certain length of time, or otherwise, I don't know why, my computer can't find it from my phone when I plug my phone into my computer, and so I have no video. And then I have to just try and make the video shorter in my phone and split it and send it directly to you. It just is a mess. So it was good that he came over because he stopped me, I think, in time. Oh, and I wanted to tell you about this flower right here. See how There's no white along the edges. Now, I showed you how I fussy cut flowers, and normally when I fussy cut flowers and I'm cutting them out completely, I cut them, whoops, see, I should have cut that off first. I cut them with a little white edging on there, and you can always cut it off later if you want to. When I'm collaging like this, if I had those flowers, I would cut that white off. Or as I'm cutting these out for the collage, I cut that white off because you don't want that white, you don't want the white line between each of your flowers on here. You want it all to kind of blend together nicely. And with that white edging on it, it makes it stand apart too much. So there we go. And then I really did want these down in this corner. Could put them up just a little bit with all full. Yep. All right, so we're going to put these down here. And then our flower girl will be done. So long as I don't rip this. Because I almost just did. There we go. Okay, come on. There we go. Oh, my hands are getting so sticky. And I made sure that straight edge, and that straight edge, I believe, was from the edge of the paper. And remember, sometimes, like this pink flower, it was a half a flower, but it was straight across the bottom, because that's the way it came out of the magazine. You don't have to have full flowers to save them, because sometimes you only need a part, and that way you're not even wasting any. You can just line your straight edge up with there. And there is our Flower Girl envelope tag. And we're going to washi tape her in to our book. And first, before we do that, we'll go ahead and we'll edge her in pink. If I can find what I did with that. There we go. I'm going to edge this side of the tag with pink. And because the other side of the tag is going to be against the blue page, I am going to edge that side of the envelope tag in blue. You don't always have to take edge them in the same color. And especially if one will look better, you know, like this is definitely not going to look very good in blue. I hardly put any blue on it. But it's going to look nice with the pink. And the rest of it would look okay with pink, but it will look nicer with blue. And the only thing that will be is your actual edges of your paper, which is the reason you edge them in the first place, is to make sure you don't have that white edge. That edge will have both colors on it. And that's going to be the only, you know, the only thing. So we're just going to go, and then this side, I haven't totally decided. I pulled out just some cardstock paper to put on here. Because I think with how busy the front of this tag is and everything, I don't think that we really need to have something super busy on the back. So I thought maybe some paper and maybe some flowers out of our fussy cut flower box. And it doesn't matter like how much we get on here because we're going to put the paper on to cover it up. So there we go. There is our tag. And I think that the back needs to be done before we tape it into our package. Oh, there's some writing on the back of her, and you can see it a little bit on her face, and that's totally fine with me. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's barely really light, and I thought, what the heck is that? But I think that she turned out really pretty. I like doing flower girls. I like doing flower animals, and I think that we'll do the back of this on the next video for next week, because I think that we've been here long enough, and I really need to figure out what to do with the back of that one. And then the coordinating pages next to it, I'm going to do very little, but they need a little something. So thank you very much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. I hope that you like the tag, and I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.